everyone. We are live with the amazing Dr. Anna Cabeca, aka the girlfriend doctor. Dr. Anna, welcome back. So good to see you again.
Oh, it's great to be here with you, Carrie. Thanks for having me.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So we had Dr. Anna on, I believe in June. So just a month and a half ago. And now we're doing more of a deep dive into her products and questions that we've gotten in from some of the members coming in already. And people are very excited to learn more because there's so much of a curiosity and peak of interest nowadays about perimenopause and just people really embracing, I want to say, menopause as well. And you are definitely leading the charge in the knowledge and wisdom that goes behind all of that. I just loved my conversation with you. So thank you so much for being here again.
No, I'm excited. It's such an important discussion to have, right? We got to open up, cross some taboo lines and make us all feel like our voice is heard. We're being heard.
Oh my gosh, that's so true. And I love how you said that with taboo lines, because that's what it is. And we actually had a question from a member too, like, how did you get started with that? Because it is so taboo and you've been doing this for quite a long time. So first, can you give people a little bit of background who have not tuned into our first episode? We will make sure that we link everything below too so they can follow you. But tell us who you are and what you do, Dr. Anna.
Yeah, happily. So I'm a board certified gynecologist and obstetrician. I trained at Emory University in the 90s, and I am osteopathic physician by training from medical school. And after my OBGYN residency, I went into solo practice in Southeast Georgia, where I realized my doctor's bag was quite limited. And between my patient struggles and my own personal journey, I took a healing journey. What I struggled with was weight loss resistance, being over 240 pounds at one time, and infertility, and then early menopause at age 39, which led me on a healing journey around the world with the grace of God to help reverse that early menopause diagnosis that I naturally conceived a child at age 41 that I was told I would never be able to have. So good news, she's 17 now, and it's the reason I'm in Dallas, Texas. We've got horses and she's in the rodeo, and it's so much fun.
That is so cool. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So you walk the walk, talk the talk, have the product line, like you do all of the things, and you speak about the taboo topics and bring these products into the world that we need and people do need to talk about more. So yeah, how are you able to do that and cross those lines? Is it like a pain to purpose story because you had so much kind of pain behind that? You're like, I need to help that other person on the other side.
100% pain to purpose, really. And I think that's a really good way, the depths of pain and despair and realizing that my doctor's bag was empty. I didn't have the solutions, and I didn't want the antidepressants or the Xanax. I didn't want I didn't want that experience, because I've seen what it happens with, a long story, it would be my mom's story, and seeing what she went through on multiple medications and dying way too young as a result of consequences of those medications. So I knew that's what I didn't want. And through my healing journey around the world, I found medicinal foods. And I think that was a huge part, understanding detoxification and our body's need to support itself, and adrenal support and anti-inflammatory support. And that's how I created my first product, Mighty Maca Plus, with 30 superfoods. And then when, again, life happens. And when I was burnout in, when I was 48 years old, so now over 11 years ago, I chose God and family first, take care of my family, follow one next right step. And my patients were like, Dr. Anna, no one will give us your creams, lotions, and potions, compounded creams. And I said, I would come up with something over the counter that you don't need a prescription for, that's better than anything I could write on a prescription pad. And so my anti-aging, essentially vulvar cream, Jelva, was born. And so that's how that came about. And I'd really to address the topics and to address the issues that still aren't being addressed today. Like, we don't want to talk about it, but we need to know. And once we feel that difference, it's like, you can't stop talking about it. I promise you.
Yeah, it's so true. It's like you would shout it from the rooftops, and yeah, it's something that you are making it more and more, thankfully, like just comfortable for women to share, and also for the men in our lives to be aware of maybe not issues that we're dealing with, but yeah, it's, the changes in seasons of life.
Well, I will tell you that I have like some of my biggest fans for my first book, The Hormone Fix, are
Yeah.
men. They're like,
No
oh my God, now I understand what she was going through. I understand what I could do to help. I can
way.
see what happened or what's happening, and I don't feel helpless.
Right.
And so the hormone fix is great for men. I say if there are men listening or there are men in your lives that, are all interested in being supportive, have them read the hormone fix. There's stuff in here to help them too.
It's like the cheat code to understanding their wife, right?
Completely.
Thank you.
Well,
Oh my gosh, yes. I will have to have my husband read that actually too, because I think I told you before I'm in perimenopause and I've been using your products. Thankfully, I've been so blessed. I've been able to use them for the past month and a half since we talked, and I just love them. The Mighty Maca I'm using every single day, and I'm noticing like my symptoms right now are less intense, and my cycle, which is typically very irregular, is like spot on right now. So
amazing. And that's because there's no hormones in it, but it's supporting your detox. So your body's able to use your own hormones more efficiently, and it's helping your glands produce more of those hormones naturally.
yeah,
And that's part of it. And plus, when we decrease that inflammation, we decrease that cortisol, our progesterone and pregnenolone tank, as well as our DHEA tank, is fuller. So our body I'm glad to hear you say that.
I know. But I also love too that it is like it's safe to use long term, correct? Like these are things that it's not going to cause any other damage or side effects, right?
Oh, yeah. I've had people on it since 2008.
Wow.
So, and I tell you, from grandchildren to elderly, it's a very safe product because I use it and I use it. My family uses it. My daughters use it. My granddaughter uses it. My father at 91 was using it. So
Really? Wow. At 91. Oh my gosh, I love that so much. And that's what I like too, because it is for every age and stage. And it's something that they can do, forever. Like you said, like it's not, you don't have to cycle it. I did start the, is it the progesterone cream? The one with
balance cream.
balance was one. Yes, that one. Can you speak to that one too? Because that's the one I do add in the second half of my cycle.
Yeah, for when you're in perimenopause or for when you're menstruating, you want to use this during the luteal phase of your cycle. So basically from day 12 to 28, start around there. And in menopause, you can use it every day. I usually say take 1 to 2 days off a week or 3 to 5 days off a month to clear receptor sites and keep it working for you as well. And this is a natural product with progesterone and pregnenolone and with tripeptide in it. So it's a topical cosmetic that helps with rejuvenating fine lines, wrinkles. Oh my goodness. And like, talk about, I've been traveling a lot lately. I will take my Julva, my balance cream, and use them as my moisturizers, etc. when I'm traveling. So I really limit my toiletries, especially when I'm traveling.
That's really good to know. Yeah, because I'm heading to London for the Health Optimization Summit in September. So I need to stream down everything. So I'll just take those with me.
There you go. Yeah. Essentials, travel essentials for sure.
That was one of the questions that did come in too. Like, what is in your like travel pack and anything else that you would throw in there that like make sure that you take with you?
Always Mighty Maca. I travel with it, and I just was in the jungle of Mexico and I had Mighty Maca, the single packs with me, and I was drinking that, and it was really beneficial. It's always like part of my routine when I'm flying. Try to mix it in water. It's very hydrating, very alkalinizing. So it's that nourishment, especially when your body's having extra stress.
Right. In the jungles of Mexico, even too.
Well, I tell you, I did Carrie, I did a very spiritual experience in a dark retreat. I did a dark retreat. So in other words, I was in a blackout room for 4 days where they just threw a box in a box that would give me some hot tea and some food, all vegetarian food during this time. And want to call it mush. I'm a chef, right?
You are
a chef. I make medicinal menus. I know, you couldn't see it, you couldn't tell what it was. Yeah, it was, was very interesting. But anyway, that helped me time my days. And it was completely blackout and our body, and it was a digital detox, right? No cell phone, no lights. There's a bathroom and a shower. Everyone asks, how did you use the bathroom? You figure it out. You figure it out.
Oh.
And then your brain starts to produce its own light and vivid dreams and deepest meditations and spiritual experience, like cleared out a lot of my cobwebs that were indoors. I'd locked off to myself too. So
Yeah, you
it
didn't
was
know.
but I would make my Mighty Maca, mix it in with my tea every single day. And
Wow.
I think, I knew that was helping further detox and balance my
How
body.
how long were you there for? Did you say?
4 days. So it's 92 hours completely in the dark.
Oh my gosh. What part of Mexico is this?
It was in Chiapas, Mexico, on the Guatemalan border.
Okay. Oh my goodness gracious. Like I can't even, I hear of people that have done it. So would you do it again?
I would do it again, not there. I would definitely do. It was a very spur of the moment, last minute type of experience. Like, I'm going to do this. What's available? I would definitely do it again, probably even for longer, because I felt like I was on the cusp of even deeper spiritual
Awakening.
experiences.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Like you
Yeah.
kind of were just starting to get at that moment or just kind of, but you still benefited, I'm sure. So
Oh, no. And let me tell you, at 92 hours, I was ready to get out. Oh, I was so ready to get out.
gosh, like I can't even imagine that. Oh,
I
wow.
I
Were you
know.
able to bring anything else with you other than you have your Mighty Maca?
So I had my Jolva and Balance
Yep.
cream. I had a pad and pen, a notepad and pen.
Okay.
And it's sometimes I wrote over lines 2 or 3 times. I mean, that it's still illegible, but try to journal. I try to journal in the dark, and just a couple changes of clothes. I just traveled with a backpack and um that toothbrush, toothpaste for sure.
Yeah.
I had my water bottle, and that was very, very basic, very
Oh,
basic.
yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
It was
And
good.
anybody with you that came on this with you? You're
Nope,
just
by myself.
okay. Wow. Okay. Well,
By
very
myself.
inspirational.
Yeah, it was fascinating. Our mind has so much capacity. And I will tell you, I know we're getting off topic if anyone's interested, but I will tell you, like by day 3, your body starts to produce more DMT. And so would see this red light. So felt like I was in a red chamber at times. And then when I was
Whoa.
doing my meditation, it's really always been very, very hard for me. Number 1, sit still. Number 2, stay focused. Number 3, to meditate. And so, but I would get into the stage where I felt like, okay, behind this like muddy wall, I could start to see depth and galaxy and light.
Whoa.
And when I would hum, hence music therapy or sound
Yes.
therapy,
Yes.
when I would hum, it would start to clear that. So I'm like, oh, maybe there is something to sound baths and these things. So it was nice to experience that firsthand.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Well, I'm sure that's going to have ripple effects into many things that you do and create and who you are. You're an incredible woman and you inspire so many. So I know you inspire people with that one, but yeah, so just kind of bring us back a little bit to about your products too. So we talked about Jolva a little bit too. Is we had somebody ask a question specifically who's had a hysterectomy. So I want to make sure that we can kind of touch on that. Can I reset hormones if I've had a hysterectomy?
100%, with or without a uterus. It's so key to balance. And I think that physicians make a mistake when, number 1, they dismiss a woman who's had a hysterectomy and say you don't need pap smears. Mistake number 1. Number 2, when they tell you you don't need progesterone, progesterone helps so much more than the uterus. It helps the brain, cognition. It helps produce GABA, an anti-anxiety neurotransmitter. It helps us get a good night's sleep, which is restorative and regenerative. It helps with bone health. It is bioidentical progesterone, not progestin, synthetic ones, but bioidentical is game-changing with or without a uterus.
Okay, very good.
And doing all these things like with the detox in my keto green method that I teach. And it is about nutritional medicinal menus with intermittent fasting, bumping into ketosis so we become more insulin sensitive, working on alkalinizing nutritious meal plans. And that really help us detox and balance our hormones naturally. So we'll have clients in 2 weeks, like they're hot flash without adding any of my lotions and potions and products. They'll just through following the nutrition plan, they'll come, their hot flashes will go away. The brain fog goes away. So I would say it takes more than hormones to fix our hormones. And then the combination can be very powerful.
Okay, that's super helpful. Yeah, because there's just a lot of misinformation about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another person was asking, so she's bloated, moody, and exhausted. Where do I even begin? What would you say to that person?
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you. I've been there. And I would start, I would really start with my book, The Hormone Fix, and follow the 10-day hormone detox in that plan. And also because in the Hormone Fix, I go through the multiple, there are spokes on a wheel.
Mhm.
Same with our health that relates to our physical body, like the hormone disruptors, the concept of alkalinization, the concept of ketosis and intermittent fasting, how to do it the right way, the concept of oxytocin, the most powerful hormone of our body, how when we empower that, we start to feel better. And so when you have this bloated feeling, especially, there's digestive issues. So we want to dig into that. So nutrition, intermittent fasting, digestive enzyme or digestive foods that are built into the menu plans can really, really help with that. The moodiness, that's a hormonal imbalance. That's inflammation. Cortisol's winning, and we want to balance the hormones. So that detox becomes important. And then foundational for my patients would be to start on Mighty Maca and Balance Cream.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
Can you speak to how Mighty Maca differs than like your traditional greens powder?
Oh yeah, definitely. This, when I was traveling after I had been diagnosed with infertility and early menopause, and I was traveling when we're diagnosed, I was 38 at the time, 39. And when you're given that diagnosis as an OBGYN, we don't think you're going to reverse that diagnosis. That wasn't
Right.
in the plan. But when I was in Peru, they said, drink maca, it helps with fertility. Drink maca, it helps with energy. And then they would elbow my husband at the time and they say, drink maca. It's the Peruvian Viagra. I'm like, okay, let's have some maca.
Let's do it.
But I couldn't stand the taste. Again, a family of gastronomiques. So I was like, okay, what other superfoods then? What other herbs and remedies and extracts are medicinal in nature that, aren't available at CVS, for instance?
Right.
And so I started exploring the different foods and putting them together. So through this combination of over 30 superfoods, it really helps with over 20 different cytokine and interleukin pathways in our body.
Wow.
And the four main adaptogenic ingredients, including maca, turmeric, quercetin, and resveratrol. So they're very restorative to the body. So that combination plus the extracts, and of course, it tastes delicious.
It does.
So yeah, it has greens in here. It has enzymes. It has fiber. It has detoxifiants like milk thistle.
Right.
It has, it's a really for me, it's my healing journey in a canister. So
That's a great way to put it. Yeah. And men can have it too.
men do great with it.
Okay, perfect. So it's way, way, way beyond your traditional like greens powder that somebody would pick up. Like, I'm just gonna add, I need more greens in my diet, but it's way beyond that.
Right. It's more than greens. And so called it Mighty Maca Plus for a reason. And that plus is really key. The combination is better than any single ingredient by itself in my now, almost 2 decades of experience. And so I want to say that it's so, and also I think a big compliment is functional medicine providers around the country, even internationally. You're going to go to Health Optimization Summit. One of our providers is there and promotes Mighty Maca because it's like the first thing that he knows is going to get the best results with his patients the quickest.
Yeah. Okay. So that's great advice. So for the person who does feel overwhelmed, like let's start with the book, Hormone Fix, and then, definitely add in Mighty Maca. We speak to a little bit more. We have somebody asking, how do I get my spark back when I feel totally flat?
Yeah. And it's great. I always say, when it comes to that, like that drive and that desire, and this is what I would hear my clients say, I've lost my edge. right? I've lost my desire. I feel like I've lost my edge, my competitive edge, or whatever it is. And this is where your body is telling you, okay, like we've got to regenerate, repair, and it comes to these foundations again. So for me, it starts with the keto green method because diet and lifestyle, I mean, lifestyle is built into my method. It's not just about what we eat, but it's focusing on that restorative, regenerative sleep, the, supporting detoxification in our body, supporting our hormones, and, that anti-inflammatory diet and nutrition plan is really key. And bumping into ketosis in a healthy way, like I always say, check your urine pH, make sure that's alkaline. And that, like from a battery perspective, from an energetic perspective, really does light you back up.
That's good to know. So then because you have your book, what is it called?
Keto Green 16.
Keto Green. Yeah. So you have that one, and that's good for any age as well. Perimenopause, menopause, teens as well too.
Okay. Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. Especially if they have PMS or any other issues. I mean, the whole family can eat these menus. They work specifically well for, I would say, if they work for the woman in menopause, they work for everyone.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. That's perfect. And then with the intermittent fasting too, so is it do you have a traditional like 16-8 or 12-12 or what do you typically say?
Well, because the research in 2016 or 2017, JAMA came out with a article that looked at intermittent fasting in women who had had breast cancer. And they showed that women who had at least 12.5 hours between dinner and breakfast had a significantly reduced risk of recurrent cancer. And so for me, it's like 13 to 16 hours in general for intermittent fasting. I think too long, we get into too much cortisol. Again, everyone's unique and different, but if we fast too long, we have those issues depending on our adrenal glands. And all of us can make at least 13 hours.
Right. Just to kind of give your body just a little bit of a reset. So it's like
reset.
That's
to digest completely the food and to maybe get into autophagy, to also create insulin sensitivity. We think about it when we go to our doctors and they say, we want fasting labs, come in at least 12 hours after your last meal. Like don't eat for 12 hours because we know we're going to get to that baseline mostly after 12 hours. So before that, we're still, we could still be above baseline. So we really want to get that 13 hours. What I found a sweet spot for us, especially in menopause, is 13 to 16 hours of intermittent fasting. You can still do one meal a day periodically, fasting days, feasting days. Can't forget my feasting days.
Yeah.
And so you want to have that flexibility and not be too stringent, but listen to your body. I've worked with women in my programs, Magic Menopause, who were just fasting too much.
Yeah. I've done that before too, when I was trying to like push it too much and I just was like lightheaded and I felt like really weak. I'm like, this is probably not very good for me. So I'm more towards like 13, 14 hour mark myself. And that's, I'm like, okay, my body's ready for food and I need some nourishment before I fall over.
Yeah. Also, depending on our genetics, some of us, and this is my case, and this is how I figured this out, is some of us will form more uric acid, especially if we're more, we're eating a lot of protein and we're fasting a lot, we may form more uric acid because that puts us into survival mode, storage mode. And for some of us, we gain weight. That was like gaining weight with fasting too much, gaining weight with carnivore, because my uric acid kept going up and up and up. And that I was like, okay, nope, let's go back to what works. Stay with it.
Is it like that? Your body's like stressed. And it's like, we got to hold on to the food because the tiger's coming and we need to be ready.
Yep. That's it. Yep. Famine's coming. Winter's here.
Winter's coming. Yeah. We got to hold on to that food and hibernate. Yeah. So it doesn't know any better. So that's what we have to listen to our body. And I love that. That's my motto now. Like, instead of like pushing it too hard, I'm like, okay, I've learned the hard way. I really need to tune in and listen. And it's not necessarily about the number that I'm hitting in terms of like how many hours. It's like, okay, just at least hit that 12-hour mark to kind of clean things up and reset for the day too. And for myself, I like to time it with like circadian clock too, like making sure that I'm done when the sun is down, like no more eating, and then at least not eating before the sun is up.
Yeah. And I think it's so important because we have clock genes. The metabolic clock genes are from 6 to 10 a.m., that if we're fasting beyond 10 a.m., that it starts to work against us. So
Okay.
remembering, like when I figured that out too, I was like, okay, more reason to make sure I get at least that smoothie in,
Yeah.
by 10 a.m. in the morning.
So good. And you have your chocolate protein powder as well. So
Yes.
that's super yummy. So they can add that in their smoothie
Yep,
to get the
keto
protein.
green protein, and it has multivitamins and antioxidants. So really to help support phase 1 and phase 2 detox with 0 grams of sugar, and it tastes good. So
It does. It totally tastes so good. You've literally created everything under the sun. Do you have more products coming that you guys are working on, or just like,
oh, well, I'm always working on something. I have a vaginal probiotic that's coming out. So it's oral, but it has ingredients to help with vaginal health and bladder health,
wow.
because urinary tract infections, vaginal infections, yeast infections, etc.,
Mm,
are debilitating when we get older. So we
mhm.
have to address the microbiome. So there is that. I have a lip formula already out. So it's
Good.
like I always say, we take care of your lips above and below the hips. Got to do that. I have
Love
a hair I have a hair mask called my Beauty Locks, and that has sea buckthorn oil in it. I'll have to send you some, Carrie. It's so good. Just put it in, leave it in, rinse it out, use it as a conditioner or hair mask. And it really does help with strengthening the hair, and makes it shiny and healthy.
it.
It's good.
Yeah, it's like it's our crowning glory as women, right? So it's
Crown and
something that,
glory.
yeah, something that it makes you feel good as a woman. So
Yeah. And I
this is
struggled in my, when I was really hormonally imbalanced and stressed with PTSD and trauma, I had hair loss to here. Literally, I had like male pattern baldness.
wow.
And it wasn't thyroid, it wasn't biotin insufficiency, it wasn't any of that. It was stress, cortisol increasing the conversion of testosterone to
Yep.
dihydrotestosterone, causing that hair loss. And so really had to figure out, okay, what do we need to do to support hair growth? What do I need to do? Because I have a thick ponytail now. If you couldn't
You, yeah.
see it, but before it was like tiny, like a fraction. And I had so much hair loss. You know, it was scary. And then I get it when a patient says or comes in with their baggie of hair. I'm like, oh, we're going to attack this. Believe me, we're going to figure this out
Aw.
and address that, because, it's
Yeah, it
important.
matters.
It's
It,
important
it
to us.
matters.
It matters.
It really does. And then you can really kind of tell the health of somebody too, just by looking at their hair. Like you have incredible hair. Like it's amazing. So
Thank you.
yeah. Well, thank you for creating that product too. It's like,
Oh,
oh my
it's so
goodness.
good. And it smells good. And yeah, of course.
Oh, I love it. Yay. Okay, so I'll definitely have to try that one. We have another one. Let's see here. This one is, what's the most underrated hormone when it comes to brain fog, belly fat, and burnout, and how do we support it?
Yeah, that's progesterone.
Okay.
Really. It is progesterone and pregnenolone. So I look at them at the same level, and these are when we have brain fog. And, you know, it's always a combination, but from progesterone and pregnenolone, we make our reproductive hormones, testosterone and estrogen. And so we think about that and we're like, okay, let's fill the bucket with what our body needs. And people don't realize from age 35 to 55, we lose 75% of our progesterone level. It drops that much because
Oh,
ovarian production drops off and the adrenals are producing what they produce. And
wow.
that progesterone is neuroprotective. It's very neuroprotective. And in this, I learned from my clients, the earlier question about having a hysterectomy. I learned from my clients who'd had hysterectomies, and I started them on progesterone. And I started on for whatever reason to help them get a good night's sleep, or because I really believe that with or without a uterus, you need progesterone. And as I started to do that, and they'd been on estrogen, they'd come back in and say, Dr. Anna, I feel like the fog has lifted. I'm seeing
Oh,
the world in technicolor again
yeah.
versus shades of gray and no fun way. And
Yeah.
so it was like that. Over and over, I'm like, okay, then what is progesterone doing to cognitive function? So I dug into the research, and
Mhm.
it's powerful. More research needs to be done using bioidentical progestins.
I love it.
No,
Yeah.
we don't see the same thing. But
Really?
progesterone, and pregnenolone, that's why I combine both of them into my balance formula.
Yeah.
It can make a really big difference.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
And someone also was saying that they've heard you say testosterone is just as important for women. Can you explain that for women who feel like it's a male hormone?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so when you look, and I would show you a graph if I had it available right now, but I don't know if sometimes I do.
Mhm.
But if you think of the volume of testosterone, we have about 10 times more testosterone circulating as a woman, even than estrogen. Now, men have 10 times more testosterone than we do. But
Mhm.
say, and so if we look at picograms per ml, we have a lot more testosterone than estrogen. In times of stress, again, top down, in times of stress, our body's pushing cortisol production, reproductive hormones start to, testosterone, estrogen starts to decline. And testosterone's that metabolically active, muscle building, anabolic hormone that's so important. So we always want to address what's causing, and this is for men and women, what's causing testosterone to be low to begin with, address those issues. Let's work on, for me, it's ketogene method. Let's get you on Mighty Maca, which naturally can increase your DHEA, or we need to supplement with DHEA. Let's make sure you're getting good sleep and all that. But adding testosterone for me is even more important than estrogen.
Okay. Okay. And then what certain labs that you would recommend for somebody to get, or certain markers? What,
I
so they
think,
know.
yeah, it's so important to do blood testing if you're still cycling on cycle day 2 for estrogen, FSH, LH,
Okay.
so estradiol and testosterone level. On day 21, I would look at progesterone and testosterone levels again.
Okay.
And menopause, just any day to look at those hormones. Still look at the FSH. It's so underutilized, and it's a powerful indicator of hormonal balance that, again, we're just starting to scratch on the research for FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. And
Wow.
so that's a really good, I use it to monitor the effectiveness of the hormone therapy that a patient's on for
Okay.
bone health and brain health protection. And so, so there's also, I do a lot of urinary hormone testing. So I use
Oh,
urinary hormone testing that looks at the metabolites. How is your body detoxifying these hormones? What are the pathways? Because genetics is involved there. And we can look at that, and also environment, because toxic burden and
yeah.
inflammation can affect our detoxification processes. So by looking at that, you can really tailor and fine tune a regimen.
Yes. Okay. So if somebody wants to work with you, are you able to see people around the world, or United States?
Yeah, I say you've got to come to see me in person at least once a year here in Dallas, because I am
Okay.
very picky. I like to see and sit with my patients. I like to do a full executive physical on them at least once a year.
Yeah.
And so I'll do a consult
Okay.
virtually, but yeah, to establish with me as a patient, I got to see at least once a year. I do have clients from all over the world internationally that will
Wow.
come in.
So then if they want to be part of your practice, then is it more like concierge, I would assume?
Well,
They would.
it's yeah, more like a consultant practice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Amazing. Okay. So I know that you actually have to head to another podcast. So we're going to have you back on, because I'm watching
Okay.
for later on, and I want to be so mindful of your time and not rush you. So thank you, Dr. Anna, for sharing your wisdom with us today. And we'll make sure, can you please just remind people where to follow you and find all of your amazing products?
Oh, yeah, that time passed so quickly,
I
Carrie.
know
Thank
it
you
did.
for
It's like,
having
oh
me. It was so quick.
my gosh.
And,
Yeah.
yeah, everyone, I welcome you to, come find me at dranna.com, DRANNA.com. Have lots of information and podcast and videos. And I'm on YouTube at The Girlfriend Doctor, and social media, Instagram and Facebook at The Girlfriend Doctor. So thank you.
Yes, yes. And she's an expert inside Life Network, and like, she puts out so much content, and it's amazing. So listen to her podcast, YouTube channel. So thank you for just continuing to educate on such taboo topics and creating these incredible products for us, Dr. Anna.
Thank you. All right. Bye, everyone.
All right. Thank you. Bye.